we're with TJ Clibborn, and TJ was one of our colt starters at the Everything Equine Expo, and he lives in Deerfield, Wisconsin, and has a business called True Partnership. So TJ, tell us just a little bit about you and your background before we get started.
I was born in Glenmorris, Australia. I moved over here about 30 years ago to see how good I was and start my own business over here, training horses. I specialize in starting colts and dealing with problem horses. And it's just grown from a very little business to what I have today. And I'm so thankful, so blessed for what I have. We have, I think, 22 horses on the books ready to come in as soon as the weather breaks here in Wisconsin. So it's been good to me. It's been good to me.
And how many colts have you probably broken in your lifetime? Because I know you've done this for, a while, and because you're fabulous at it.
Probably around about 3,800 heads.
3,800?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. So when you were at the expo, you guys draw a number, and that's how you get assigned your colt?
Yes.
And all the colts...
I was lucky last.
Last?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Number 6, so I had to take what was left.
I got you. Now, when you're looking at the colts and sizing them up, what do you look for to be the one that you hope you get?
Not the one I chose, and not the one I got.
I know.
I had Cathnan's little horse. That was my pick out of the fillies.
Right.
I got the gelding. There was 5 fillies and 1 gelding, and I got the gelding. And the first 2 choices were that one and the one Johnny Cook got.
Right.
They were my 2 choices. So I looked at nice, quiet eye, nice, easy going around the pen that they're in, tried to judge a little bit of their conformation, looking at a nice, soft face, trying to realize that would I take that horse home? Yes, I would. Well, that's the one I chose,
Sure. And all the colts, for the folks that are watching, are brought to us from Lost Creek Cattle Company out of Tennessee. And none of these horses have been haltered, and they've not been handled to amount to anything because they have a big acreage cattle farm that they actually live on. So Charlie brings us 6 colts, and the guys draw numbers, and ladies, and that's how they choose which horse that they're going to ride. So tell us a little bit about your first round with the one that you got.
Well, the first round was probably my most difficult round of ever doing this competition. First of all, the colt was bad. I had to rope him to catch him. He wouldn't let me touch his face. He read, he struck, he knocked me down. My glasses went one way, my hat went the other. I got up off the ground and felt really embarrassed because of what happened, but tried to go on with touching his face as best I could because you got to put a halter on, and he just did not like it at all.
So what do you do when you get something like that? I mean, how do you move forward?
Well, you just have to take it one step at a time and not worry about the competition, but worry about the horse that you got there and doing the best job you can with the material you've got.
Absolutely. And you did a great job at that because even though all this went on, you didn't lose your temper. You were still calm and cool and collected and in control. And I had to really admire you for that because that's a hard thing to do.
It is hard, but if you lose your temper with a horse, you've lost the battle.
Yeah.
I've got a saying to my students here at the ranch, if you, by the time you've lost that temper, you should have went and had a cup of coffee.
Yep. I agree.
Because the horse is is not going to listen to you, and you're going to get more frustrated, and both of you are just going to have a war.
Yeah, and you're not going to win. Chances are.
No, you're not. No, I don't care how big a human you are. That horse is going to be bigger and stronger than you are.
Absolutely. So, did you get a halter on the first round?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I did not. I just played with the rope and got a little bit of feel through the rope, and asked him to move his front feet. And I actually got him leading in the first round just with the rope around his neck.
That's really good. I know that it was a tough round because all of this is based on how far you go in the time limit that you have, and that was a big obstacle for slowing you down, without a doubt. But you handled it extremely well.
Well, and I tried to, I couldn't go any faster.
No.
So I just had to deal with what I had, and, I think the horse went away a little better than when he started, and that's all I was worried about, that
Sure.
he'd come back the next session better,
So how did it go in session 2 that afternoon?
Well, in session 2, I thought about it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
How I was going to do this. And I actually called a friend of mine in Australia and got some words of advice from him. And I called Guy McLean, and he gave me some little word of advice over the phone. And so I went back in there and I did what he said, and it really worked out well. I eventually got the horse caught. I still had to rope him again because he didn't want to be caught. But the second session, I did get the halt on him.
Good.
Once I got the halt on him, then I could start playing with his face.
Right.
And he became a little better on my second session. We were able to get feeling in the hips, shoulders, walking around, leading. I was pretty pleased with his second session.
That was really good. And I'm glad that you said that, because you've broke 3,800 colts, and you weren't too proud to ask for help and new ideas, or thinking out of the box a little bit. So that was really smart. So I'm glad you told people that.
Well, it's we're all in this horse world. We're all trainers, and the more trainers interact with each other and start throwing some different ideas around. We've got a good friend here in Wisconsin. We're always talking on the phone, and always helping each other. And he's got multiple world champions, but there's things that I do that he doesn't do. So, we work together a lot.
Right.
I think that makes for a better product. The horse turns out a lot better in the long run.
All of the trainers told me how impressed they were with you, and how they appreciated your tips and your advice and you cheering them on throughout the competition. So when Jerry, at the end of the competition, when Jerry told you that you should have certainly got toughest cowboy and best sport, that was an understatement.
Well, we're there to help each other, I feel. And if we don't help each other, then somebody else is going to get seriously hurt.
I agree. And, when I put on a colt starting, I don't want somebody that's not going to help the other person. I want people to work together and be better as a whole, because that, if we can't be nice to each other and treat each other with respect, then we've lost something. So, round 1, you lassoed him. Round 2, you finally got the halter on and taught him the basic halter stuff and leading and things. So, Saturday morning, we start round 3. So, how did that go?
Round 3, I tried to catch him with the halter, just with the halter, but I still had to rope him again. This horse had a problem with getting near his head. He just didn't want you near his head.
Right.
I don't know why. I just don't know why. But when I did get there, he had a little spot in one eye. And I don't know whether that was the reason that things were difficult for him.
Uh-huh.
I just can't lay my finger on it, but he just gave me a hard time again catching him. Now, once I caught him, everything was fine. I got the front feet picked up the third session. His back feet, he wanted to kick my head off. So I knew I had to play with them a lot, to get that done. But I just persevered, you just got to take things at the horse's pace, not at your pace.
Right.
When he's ready to accept it, he'll be ready to accept it.
Absolutely.
You can't force anything onto him.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you would have done different for those first 3 rounds if you could do it over?
I don't think I could have done. I don't think I could have.
I don't think so either.
I think I've done the best job that I could do in those first 3 rounds.
I agree with you because I watched as much of it as I could as I'm running around the arena. But, he was tough. There's no question about it. And he gave you a test for all your years of experience. That's for sure.
Yeah, and most of the others were riding their horse.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I haven't even got a saddle on mine.
Yeah. And if you talk about that a little bit, is how do you deal with that pressure? Because you see yourself falling behind. How do you keep your cool and keep going? How do you deal with that pressure?
Mine way of dealing with it is there's only me and that horse. I don't worry about the rest. I just got to give that horse the best start I can give him. If I can do that, then my job's done as a colt starter.
Absolutely.
If I mess up, that horse can be messed up for a long time.
Yes. You can't afford to make egotistical mistakes.
No, you can't, because I think the first sessions of a colt in any, whether I've got one here at home or in the competition, I don't do it any differently at home than I do. I have more time here. You're under a time restraint there. You're trying to do your best, time allotted for you. Here, if I had to have the colt at home, like that whole 3-day thing might have taken a week.
Right.
To get the same result I did in the 3 days.
Right.
I might have taken a week at home. Because at home I could have done things that I couldn't do there, like tie to my patient's pole and keep him tie up and sack him out, or while he was in a safe environment, because my round pen at home has 8-foot high walls and they're solid all the way around.
Right.
Right.
So at the end of round 3, we're sort of halfway through the competition. So Saturday afternoon, how did that round go?
Now that round I got a saddle on him and I climbed on board and all hell broke loose.
Oh my God.
he spun around in circles to the right like a reining horse.
Yeah.
When he stopped finally, people thought I was pulling, but I wasn't. I was trying to get him to stop. And he stopped, put his head on the ground and started stomping his front feet.
Oh my.
And I really thought I was in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he did not want to move and he was getting mad. And when I did get him to move, he only went about 5 or 6 feet and then stuck his foot straight through the rail.
Oh, man.
That's when I thought I was really in trouble. And you don't know whether you should bail off, sit there, and wait for things to calm down. And I chose to sit and wait. And he eventually put his foot back in. If I had tried to bail off or jump off on the fence, we could have had a bit of a rodeo wreck,
Yeah.
I think I did the best thing was just sit on him and just try to calm him down. Once I got his feet moving, he was a lot better. You know, I think I got a trot out of him in that session. You know, so from there to the end of the session was pretty good.
Did you take him out of the round pen in that session?
I think it was the next session we went over the round pen.
Okay. So round 4, you rode him.
Yeah. I rode him and took him. I think it was. We went out. I think it was late on round 4. We went out in the arena.
Okay.
If I remember right. He was a little better out there, moving wise, but I still hadn't got him to lope. I still hadn't got a lope out of him. And that was part of our compulsories, you know, so
Yeah.
I needed to get him to lope, and he just didn't want to. He'd trot all day. He'd make a good ranch horse because he'd travel some country.
Yeah.
You know, he'd be a good horse to go to work on a ranch. But so I brought him back into the round pen and eventually got about 4 strides of lope in the round pen, I think 4 or 5, and I was happy with that, so that's where I quit. I think I had about 10 minutes left, but the horse had shown me enough and did enough, and I didn't want to wear my horse out, so I just stopped there.
Yeah, and you got to always stop on a positive note if you can.
Oh, always. You know, if you stop on a negative note, you're going to start on a negative note, because that horse is going to remember the negative, not the positive.
Yeah. And taking them out into the arena, for the folks that are watching, when we do the colt starting, the colt starters have a round pen that's about 50 foot wide in diameter. And each one has their own round pen. And then after, in round 4, they can come out into the big arena, which is, you know, like the 200 by 150 foot arena. So when you come out into the big arena, you got the audience and you got people milling around and dogs and kids and the loudspeaker and a lot of things, you know, it's like a whole different world for the horse.
Oh, yeah, and there's banners and everything else, you know, and they've got to see all that, you know.
Yeah.
And so it can be a little terrifying to a colt out there. Especially the guy that I had, you know, the horse that I had, you know, he was nervous and fragile anyway, you know, but to get him going out there at a good trot and get him looking around and steering a little bit better, he seemed to come around a little bit, and I was pleased with that session.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So that concluded Saturday, and then Sunday morning you get one more round before the finale. So tell me about round 5.
Well, round 5 went really, really good, I thought. He came in, I actually walked up to him, caught him with the halter. It took me a little couple of minutes, but I got it. And he just followed me straight up to my saddle. I saddled him up. He didn't buck. He didn't do anything. Just trotted straight off with the saddle on. I pushed him around the round pen a little bit. Then I'm old, so I got to use a mountain block.
Yeah.
And so I taught him to stand still at the mountain block while I get on and off, and was able to get on him and back him away from the mountain block. He had a good back on him. Pretty much good turn left and right. I thought he had a nice, softer feel to him that morning, so he did a lot better, and I took him outside of the round pen and rode him around the arena again. A little better. Still hadn't got a lope. Outside. So I brought him back in, loped him again in the round pen. So a really good session. I ended that session and I thought, maybe this horse is going to do what I want him to do on the obstacles, you know?
Yeah. Had you worked him on any of the obstacles at this point?
I'd had a few in the round pen. I'd put him over top and things, a piece of plywood, I think, and some rails. None of us know what the obstacle course is going to be like, so you just deal with what you got in the round pen, you know?
Right. So
he did that okay, you know. He was a little nervous at first, but he did all those things pretty good.
Isn't it amazing that when you reach that point where they finally say, "Oh, okay, I know what you're asking of me, and I'm willing to do that."
That's right. That's right. And that was where I finished. It was a really good session, honestly.
Yeah. So going into the finale, what was your strategy?
Well, I just wanted to complete the course.
Right.
And so I saddled him up in the accordion, saddled him up in the round pen, tried picking up all 4 feet again, and eventually got him without getting kicked. Then I mounted my mountain block, rode him outside, did my dismount, and picked up all 4 feet. And then took the mountain block to get back on him, and he wouldn't stand still at the mountain block.
Oh.
It took me probably 5 minutes to get him to stand still at the mountain block.
Right.
Because I hadn't got off him and got on him outside in the big arena. You know, I'd only done it in the mountain. But I eventually got that. Then he was able to do the complete obstacle course. No hesitation, no nothing. I was so proud of the way he went. We got our lope at the right time. Between the cones, he did really well. Zigzag, top, bridge, he never faltered. He backed really well through the course. He did everything that I wanted him to do. You know, I was proud of the way he finished.
Well, you should be, because, you know, you had an amazing finish.
Yeah.
For everybody listening, you know, you would think TJ would come in dead last, but he did not. He placed 4th out of 6, even though he had all of these challenges, and that's a true testament to his skill and his patience level and knowledge of the horse and being there for the horse, whether he won or lost.
Yeah, I had to. I was just there for him, and I was so proud of him the way he finished that course.
Yeah.
You know, he did everything I wanted him to do. You know, I couldn't have done any more on that colt. You know, he wasn't a colt that you could stand up on and crack a whip or drag a top or anything like that, because he was so far behind the others, you know.
Right.
So just for him to go out there and give me what he gave me and finish the course, I was pleased. Really pleased.
You definitely should have been, because you did an amazing job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Any other thoughts on the colt starting and the experience?
I think it was very good. I think the colts were good. All the fillies were great. I think Jeff had a little difficult one to catch in the first session too, but eventually I think all of them did really good. Amelia's was a little sticky on the feet, so I helped her in a round pen and got her horse moving for her, and she was very appreciative of that. So I think, you know, all in all, I think it was a great competition. I think we all did really good with our colts, and finished where we finished, I think.
Yeah, I was very proud of you. Now, do you have any advice that you can give folks that are wanting to enter the colt starting arena? Because I have people all the time asking me, can they compete in my colt starting? And, you know, it's hard for me to pick somebody, because you can't have never done it, that's for sure, and you can't have just done 1 or 2 at home that were yours. You know, you kind of have to have some experience. So comment a little bit about that.
Well, I think that more and more people want to get into it for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
They want the glorification of it.
Right.
And it's not about the horse to them, it's about them. I think we need to find that next generation that's going to be about the horse and not about themselves. And they're the people that we need to put in the colt starting competition. You know, give them a chance.
I agree 100% because, a colt starting competition is not a shortcut to being a great trainer. On the contrary,
No, it is not.
on the contrary, you got to be a great trainer before you can be in the colt starting.
Oh yeah. Mike Majors just was a good example of that in Road to the Horse.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Years of experience makes you good.
It does. It really does. And having a huge toolbox to pull from because every horse is different.
That's true. That's true. So I tell people to come here, I'll give you a tool to put in your toolbox, and one day you might need that.
That's right. Very, very true.
You might come across a difficult horse, and you might say, well, TJ did it this way. I'm going to give it a try. I'm not saying that my methods are going to work on every horse. I change my pattern for the horse,
Yeah.
If he's a little difficult, well, then I've got to deal with that. If he's a sweetheart, well, then I've got to deal with that,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other words of wisdom to share with our viewers?
Just take it one day at a time with yours. Don't get in a hurry. I just find that horses don't wear wristwatches. So they don't know what time it is. It's just their life. They've got to go out there and do their best. They give us their best. So we've got to give them our best. And just take your time with them. Just learn to be with that horse. Be a partner with yours. My motto is true partnership is, with trust anything is possible. And over the years I've proved that horse had jumped through rings of fire, get in the back of pickup trucks and cars and everything else,
Yeah.
Teach him to sit, lay down, bow. I taught one to sit while we were down there in the beanbag. So, it's just patience. It's just patience, If you don't have any patience, you're not going to be good at this.
I agree, and I think you shouldn't expect yourself to already know. Take the time to let him teach you a little bit about what you need to do next.
Oh, exactly. Listen to your horse. He's going to tell you right from wrong.
Yeah. So
if you listen to him, you'll find the right answer.
Absolutely. How can people reach you if they want you to train a horse or train them?
Well, they can go to my Facebook page or they can look me up on my website and contact me that way, or they can get me through my email, which is terryclibbon@gmail.com. And, I have a couple pages on Facebook, and the website is really, really good. So if they go to those, they can look me up and get in touch with me that way.
Very, very good. All right. I really appreciate you being on the show today, and I hope that you'll come back to another colt starting with us really soon.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
All righty. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Our souls wander in similar places. Even though we may not know each other, we touch the same wind, we walk under the same sky, and our hearts wander in the same dreams. We are one, women just like you and me. Our show explores women in the horse industry as they share their dreams, challenges, successes. What drives these women? Well, let's find out.